September 16, 2025. Welcome to the NEWS El Salvador SD podcast, a space for conversation and reflection where we explore current topics from El Salvador and the world together with a fluid and easy to understand intellectual curiosity. Find us for free on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, or on your favorite platform. You can find us on PayPal. The username is in the description of this podcast. Remember, your contributions help pay the bills so we can provide content. Follow us, share, and comment.
Okay, so just try and picture this, a nation absolutely buzzing right now. You know, the air fills with tradition, bright colors, celebration, and just this unmistakable energy of a country really making its mark. El Salvador, specifically, has been just alive with some incredible cultural moments and, well, big news lately. Today, we're diving deep, really getting into the heart of El Salvador. We'll explore the recent independence celebrations, unpack some key things happening nationally, and look at how its culture and innovations are making waves globally. We'll also try and connect these local events with some interesting international news, just to give you that wider view. Our mission, like always, is to give you that shortcut to being properly informed, highlighting the really important bits of insight, maybe with a few surprises so you get not just what's happening, but why it actually matters.
It really is fascinating, isn't it, how all these different pieces, local parties, global headlines, economic shifts, they somehow weave together. It creates this really dynamic snapshot of a country on the move. You see El Salvador facing triumphs, but also challenges. And yeah, this deep dive is all about connecting those dots for you, showing how it all fits together.
Right. So let's kick things off by unpacking the independence celebrations. They sounded really vibrant. We're talking September 15th, 16th, 2025. And reports say literally thousands of Salvadorans celebrated independence. The historic center in San Salvador, apparently it was just a fiesta of independence filled with peace, civility, and joy. Not just parades, but lots of art, music, and culture. They even had drones and music from Los Hermanos Flores.
A proper celebration, then.
Absolutely. And it wasn't just contained in the capital. These celebrations spread out to places like Santa Ana, San Miguel, and even further afield. We saw reports of Salvadorians in Boston celebrating 204 years of independence. So a real sense of national pride reaching across borders.
That's quite something.
Yeah, and the parades themselves, well, they were something else. Banda El Salvador led the main one in San Salvador, which you'd expect. But then you had these unexpected sights. Get this, Chewbacca was apparently there, and Guy Fawkes with a war bonnet.
Wait, Chewbacca? Seriously?
Seriously. Marching alongside things like armored cars and canine units. It paints such a unique picture, doesn't it?
It certainly does. A very eclectic mix.
And even Google modified its logo to congratulate El Salvador, which, it's a small thing maybe, but it does show this growing international recognition.
That's a great point about Google, and it sort of highlights how these public celebrations were also tied up with some pretty significant messages from the government, from the president. Mm-hmm. President Bukele really emphasized what he calls the Salvadoran model. This approach focused on strong leadership, security, self-reliance. He said things like, "When we act with independence, we do better," tying that ability to act alone directly to the nation's success. And his message stressed Dios, Unión y Libertad, God, union, and liberty, and focused on education for the new El Salvador.
So a clear vision being projected there.
Exactly. And beyond just the words, there were some concrete actions announced too, like the National Police Academy, the ANSP. It's going to be named after Mauricio Antonio Arriaza Chicas.
Ah, okay. Honoring him.
Honoring his legacy in national security, yeah. And they also announced paving, I think it was 12 kilometers of street, and rebuilding a school out in Los Toles. And there was this other detail, quite interesting. Private prisoners collaborated in street cleaning after the parade. It shows the kind of unique community involvement angle, perhaps.
That is interesting. A detail you probably wouldn't see everywhere. But, okay, it's fascinating how those messages and actions create this strong sense of direction. But the picture wasn't completely uniform, was it? Mm-hmm. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because amidst all that celebration, there was also this march of civil organizations denouncing democratic setbacks and abuses. That's quite a contrast.
It is, and it's really crucial for understanding the whole situation.
How do you sort of square those two things happening at the same time?
Well, you have the government promoting its narrative, highlighting successes, fostering this big celebration. But these marches, they represent a really important counter-narrative. It reflects ongoing debates within the country about, governance, human rights, balance of power. It's a reminder that national identity is rarely just one thing. different groups have different experiences.
Even during national holidays.
Especially during national holidays sometimes. And unfortunately, there was also some tragic news. The reports mentioned a man was assassinated in Sonsonate on Independence Day.
Oh, that's awful. A somber note indeed.
It really is a reminder of the persistent challenges, even during times of celebration. And just to add one more slightly bizarre detail.
Go on.
Apparently, a parade float, a Carrozza with a model helicopter on it, got stuck under an underpass.
No. You're kidding.
Yep. Can you just picture it? It's kind of funny in a way, but also, a reminder that even with grand plans, sometimes things just go a bit sideways.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's those unexpected, slightly absurd things that stick with you.
Oh.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about culture. El Salvador seems to be really making waves internationally.
It seems so.
Get this. Los Hermanos Flores, the legendary cumbia group, they're set to conquer the Coachella 2026 stage. Coachella. That's huge.
Wow, that is a massive platform. That's fantastic news for them.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's not just them.
Yeah.
We're seeing other local talent getting recognized too. Like Andrea Moran, a Salvadoran model, will be in Miss Latino America 2025 in Panama. And remember the buzz around Miss Universe 2023?
Yeah.
The contestants from Nicaragua, Nepal, El Salvador, Albania, they all had really positive things to say about the country.
Right, I remember that. It generated quite a bit of positive attention.
Yeah. And the artistic scene seems really vibrant overall. We saw mentions of people like Fabiola Ruta, Nine Soul, blending traditional sounds with newer stuff, Marvin Garcia, L.M. Artur, Saya, loads of others.
So a real mix of styles and artists emerging.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It feels like Salvadoran creativity is really flourishing and finding a wider audience, connecting those local roots with, global trends.
And that brings up a really interesting point, doesn't it? How does this mix of established artists and new talent feed into the national identity, and how does it play out globally? What's fascinating is seeing the old alongside the new. Like that mention of Dulceria Aguilar, a sweet shop with over 100 years of tradition.
Wow, over a century.
Yeah, it shows that heritage is still really strong. And then you see the local connecting globally in fun ways, like Salvadoran pupusas are conquering Madrid.
Huh. Culinary diplomacy at its best.
Exactly. And things like Abraham Osorio's murals in London, literally putting Salvadoran stories onto international walls.
That's fantastic.
And there are other cool cultural bits too. The traditional Battle of Fireballs in Najapa sounds intense. The Festival de la Anona, celebrating harvests. And even something like the Edgar haircut, that sharp fringe style popular with young guys. Apparently, it's been prohibited in Salvadoran schools.
Really? The haircut?
Yeah, it seems like a small thing, but it gives you this little window into youth culture, self-expression, and how local rules intersect with that.
That Edgar haircut detail is definitely a fun glimpse into everyday life. Okay, let's switch focus again. Let's talk tech, economy, and then maybe wrap up with sports.
Sound good.
First up, innovation. Some wild stuff happening globally. Did you see this? A Japanese political party will name an AI as its leader after doing badly in elections.
Whoa, an AI party leader. That's bold. A real experiment in governance.
Isn't it? Makes you wonder about the future of politics. And China's pushing ahead too, successfully testing a satellite for their own satellite internet. Another big step in connectivity.
The tech race continues.
For sure. And then there's the whole TikTok situation news about a potential U.S. and China agreement for TikTok to pass to U.S. hands. Shows that complex mix of tech, business, global politics.
Absolutely. High stakes there.
And closer to home, in El Salvador itself, they're embracing tech too. There's Node Nation, which is this pioneering Bitcoin education program.
Right, showing that continued commitment to crypto and digital finance.
Exactly. Now, on the economic pulse, we saw that the import of Chinese vehicles has shot up 73.2% in the first half of 2025. That's a huge jump.
That is significant growth.
Yeah, but the caveat is that transport and taxes raise the cost by up to 25%. So while imports are up, it gets more expensive for the actual buyer.
An important factor.
And just small updates like fuel prices going up slightly by about 0.002 cents.
Yeah.
But then there are these bigger social trends, like the low birth rate is aging the population.
Demographics. That's a challenge many countries are facing.
Right. And you see the human side of it in stories like a 65-year-old woman working to support her 93-year-old mother, or this centenarian artisan making wooden birds. It really brings those statistics to life.
It really does. And If we connect this back to the bigger picture, you can see El Salvador navigating these major global trends like the tech shifts and demographic changes, while also managing its own specific internal issues.
That makes sense.
On the economy, for instance, beyond just imports, the Superior Labor Council, the Consejo Superior del Trabajo, is talking about expanding the union period. That might sound dry, but it could really impact workers' rights and bargaining power.
Okay, yeah, that could be significant.
And then there are reports about irregularities in the administration of El Refugio and the Sociedad de Mercados accumulating $5.2 million in losses. So areas needing perhaps more oversight or reform.
Right, challenges on the financial front too.
And then in sports, there was some sad news. The passing of Jaime La Chelona Rodriguez, the former World Cup player.
Ah, yes, a real legend.
Absolutely. Tributes came from the FIFA president, old teammates, showed how much he meant to Salvadoran football.
A big loss.
But on a happier note, Uriel Canjura won silver and bronze in Ibero-American badminton, and he's apparently on his way to the Olympic Games.
Fantastic. That's great news.
Really is. Shows Salvadoran talent shining internationally. And here's a fun crossover with tech. Artificial intelligence predicts the future of El Salvador in the World Cup qualifiers.
Huh. AI getting into football punditry now.
Seems like it. It's everywhere.
September 16th, 2025. Welcome to the NOWS El Salvador SV podcast, a space for conversation and reflection where we explore current topics from El Salvador and the world together with a fluid and easy-to-understand intellectual curiosity. Find us for free on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, or on your favorite platform. You can find us on PayPal. The username is in the description of this podcast. Remember, your contributions help pay the bills so we can provide content. Follow us, share, and comment.
So, pulling back a bit, what does all this mean when we look at El Salvador, through that global lens?
Yeah, how does it fit into the world picture?
Well, we see international figures like Senator Marco Rubio congratulating El Salvador on its independence and emphasizing that strong link with the USA. So, key diplomatic relationships being highlighted.
Important connections there.
And then you compare it regionally, like Costa Rica became the nation with the largest increase in foreign millionaires in Latin America. That's an interesting contrast, economically speaking.
It is. Raises questions about different economic models or maybe opportunities for El Salvador.
Definitely something to watch. And even the weather connects globally. Spain experienced its warmest summer ever recorded, a stark reminder of climate change.
Which impacts everyone, including El Salvador, especially with agriculture and health. So it really raises that question, doesn't it? How do these global events, political, environmental, even cultural trends, how do they ripple outwards and affect a nation like El Salvador? And just as importantly, how does El Salvador contribute its own narrative, its own experiences back into that global conversation?
Right.
I mean, think about the arrest of the Tinder swindler in Georgia.
Yeah.
Seems unrelated, maybe. But it reminds you just how interconnected things are now. Crime, pop culture, travel, it all crosses borders.
That's true. Even that story has global reach.
Exactly. And then you see headlines like Machu Picchu possibly losing its new Wonder of the World title or Japan breaking the record for centenarians. It just shows the sheer diversity of what's happening out there. And El Salvador finds its place within all that, adding its own unique stories, the celebrations, the challenges, the innovations to this huge, complex global tapestry.
Wow. What a journey we've taken through all that recent news and insight about El Salvador, from those huge independence parades and the vibrant culture to the sports highs and lows, the tech advancements, the economic shifts. It's clear it's a nation absolutely buzzing with activity and, well, potential.
Absolutely. And if you connect all those threads like we've tried to do, it really does underscore El Salvador's dynamic position right now. It feels like a country constantly balancing its really rich traditions with this forward look towards innovation, towards engaging with the world, actively trying to shape its own path.
So what does this all mean for you, listening in?
Well, I think it's a powerful reminder, really, that any nation at any moment is this incredibly complex mix. It's woven from local events, local feelings, but also these intricate global connections.
Yeah, it encourages you to look past just the headlines. Exactly, to appreciate all the different forces shaping a country's present and its future. So here's a thought to leave you with, something to maybe mull over. Considering everything we've touched on, the street parties, the voices of dissent, the culture booming, the economy changing, those global ties, what does El Salvador's current path tell us about how we even define national identity? or sovereignty, here in the 21st century? It's a big question. We really encourage you to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the world around you.
September 16, 2025. Welcome to the NUWS El Salvador SV podcast, a space for conversation and reflection, where we explore current topics from El Salvador and the world together with a fluid and easy-to-understand intellectual curiosity. Find us for free on YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Deezer, or on your favorite platform. You can find us on PayPal. The username is in the description of this podcast. Remember, your contributions help pay the bills so we can provide content. Follow us, share, and comment.